Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of This Week in Philadelphia Sports here on Philly Sports Network, where, as you might have guessed it, we go over everything that's happened this week in Philadelphia sports. Again, if you're new to this channel, I would draft you with the 21st overall pick, but according to Pro Football Focus, I can see that a whopping 62% of you who watch this content aren't subscribed, and that's heartbreaking. And there are two reasons for this, I think. One of them is that we have got an infestation of Dallas fans we need to shoo away, or two, I'm British and I've got a high-pitched voice, which is probably more likely. But to prove you're not a Dallas fan, it would be amazing if you could join our community, and maybe, just maybe, I'll draft you with the 21st overall pick. But seriously though, guys, it would be amazing if you could hit that subscribe button. We're bringing you as much Eagles content as you can handle over the course of this offseason. Now, interestingly, it's been a reasonably quiet week for the Eagles. Obviously, we're in that offseason lull. The combine is on the horizon. We're going to talk about that a little bit in today's video, but they made one significant move last week, and that, unfortunately, was cutting ties with Nigel Bradham, who was on a club option in 2020. The Eagles saved themselves around $4.5 million in cap space, but the question now becomes, where are they going to spend that money? Let us pray that it's on a linebacker, because right now the depth chart is about as paper thin as the chances that me and my ex get back together. It's scarily thin right now. Now, of course, the Eagles could be high on guys like Nate Gary and TJ Edwards, but the entire group outside of special teams performances struggled in missed tackles. And while there are some appealing free agents available, names like Corey Littleton and Joe Schobert, it's likely that the Eagles do decide to invest and develop through the draft. Now, the best solution would be to acquire a talent, someone like a Schobert or a Littleton, and then bring in a developmental talent to learn underneath them. In the same vein they did it with D'Amico Ryans and Jordan Hicks not too long ago. The Simba and, what was the other one? Mufasa, the Simba and Mufasa relationship. They need to get that back. Like, if you're going to build through the draft, you need cornerstones for that young talent to build around. They haven't had that in a while. But they will get a look at some of that young talent at the NFL Combine. Now, this is, of course, going to be a fun week. We're going to see Henry Ruggs run a 40-yard dash, which is going to be blisteringly fast. We're going to see all your top receivers, all of the favourite quarterbacks. But I'm going to be there, obviously, you know, playing quarterback, trying to get the attention of the bank. You see... Never mind. But this combine, I think, is especially important for the Eagles. And it's not just in terms of the players they can look at or the players they can interview. There are some key things they simply have to do. One of them is be transparent. This will be the first time we've heard from Howie Roseman since the end of season press conference after the Seattle game, where he summed up your reaction when your first date doesn't go as planned.
With a range of emotions. I think the first emotion is disappointment.
But since that day, there has been a lot of smoke in the air, and I can't quite see where I'm going. Right? Oh, I've hit me head. I've hit. So we need Howie Roseman to just blow it away. Just blow the smoke away. Obviously, Nigel Bradham has been cut 2 days after his last conference, where Dougie P guaranteed that Mike Groh and Carson Welch would still have jobs. They didn't. We've had a coaching staff reshuffle. You've lost Andrew Berry to the Browns. And there's been a consistent consensus, as a tongue twister for you, that Alshon Jeffrey is going to leave the building. Whether that's through cut or through trade, that seems to be where everyone's viewing this. And then you've got players like Malcolm Jenkins, who, like Bradham, is on an option year. The difference is he won't return under the same deal. There were so many breakdowns in communication for this Eagles team last year. It was kind of worrying, whether it was injuries or acquisitions or coaching moves or Carson Welch's top 5 PFF graded receivers with Matt Collins at the top. Whatever the reason was, it can't happen again. This is a chance for Roseman to just be honest, to put out there, hey, do you know what? We are shopping Alshon Jeffrey, or we are doing what's in the best interest of the team, or to reinstate why guys like Carson Welch and Mike, not that they need an explanation, it's more just that, you know, it's building trust, lads, alright? We're building trust. This may be one of Howie's biggest off seasons yet, and there's already been a lot of change, so it's important that we are on the same page with him, that we see where he's seeing. We're looking at the same picture. Yeah, I don't want to be looking at a lovely big picturesque view of Philadelphia, while over there he's looking at fields and cows. Yeah? The second thing is obviously the need for speed. There are plenty of exciting drills to watch, including the broad jump, including the shuttle drill, including the vertical, where of course I notably reached a 38-inch whopper. I mean, look at that. It can't even fit on the But the Eagles need to focus on the 40-yard dash time especially, not only at wide receiver, but at running back, but at cornerback, but at safety, but at linebacker, whether it's range on getting side to side like Ariana Grande, whether it's a safety, whether it's a corner to replace Ronald Darby, or of course, Henry Ruggs, some speed in the slot. You need speed. The Eagles lacked it sorely last year. Their stopwatches will be at the ready. They're getting Casio ones especially, probably. Next up is that the Eagles actually need to focus heavily on day 2 prospects. They've got around 2 to 3 compensatory picks, we know this, and they worked very hard to get them. There were a series of roster moves they made just to get a compensatory pick, and not a lot of people know that, but the whole reason why specific players were cut, we'll get into this in another video, were just to get a compensatory pick. Not a byproduct of the cut, but the sole reason for it. So with that much investment in those mid-round picks, it's safe to assume then that they're going to go all in the heart of the draft. We know it's a deep receiver class. We know it's reasonably deep at cornerback. This is a prime opportunity for the Eagles to maybe double dip at one of those positions at need. So keep a keen eye out on some of those guys. Guys like Brandon Ayuk, who's a round 2 guy maybe. Someone like a Jalen Reagor, a Courtney Davis. There are a lot of good players here at the NFL Combine. The Eagles have to be very, very thorough with their searches. Next up, they've got to slide into those DMs. This is a really good networking opportunity where team officials can meet with other team officials and just bond, yeah? At the end of the day, this is where you can really first start putting out feelers, ring up a team and go, oh yeah, I like that Robbie of yours, he's a pending free agent. What sort of music does he like, just for when I call him up? So you can bond, build relationships, and of course begin shopping players or inquiring about other players and assets. And if we know anything about Howie Roseman, the DM list is going to resemble that of a 19-year-old man who has first discovered Budweiser. Expect a lot of movement, a lot of reports, a lot of per source over the next week, and most of it is going to be agents and scouts and front office officials just putting feelers out, testing the waters and seeing what bites. Finally, interviews. We know the Eagles have recently started focusing on high character guys, and that's great, but the last couple of drafts haven't been fantastic, have they? Yes, you've got Dillard and Sanders, but then you've also got Arthega Whiteside and Sharif Miller and Clayton Thorson, da 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 da. Clayton Thorson, da 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 da. Clayton Thorson, da 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 da. Clayton Thorson, da 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 da. Clayton Thorson. Sorry, I had to. The Eagles made a very, very important decision though. They brought in Brent Selleck and Connor Barwin to help mentor younger players, help them adapt to life in Philadelphia, adapt to life in the NFL. That's important, but they should be involved in that interview process to gauge the character of players, to see who would fit that locker room. I think if we've learned anything from 2019, talent's important, don't get me wrong, but attitude and character is even more so, especially on that offense. Like, if Greg Ward can outproduce Nelson Aguilar, then I'm not that bothered about who runs a faster 40-yard dash time. I want the receiver that's going to give the most, that's going to work the hardest, and want this team to succeed the most. Finding those players all starts here at the Combine. So, what are you looking forward to at the Combine though? Let me know down there in the comments and we can have a little discussion, little back and forth. If you like discussions and backs and forths, the link to our Discord server is in the description below. You can join that. We've got close to 200 die-hard Eagles fans in there talking shop every single day. If you're like me and not many of your friends are Eagles fans and you've got a burning passion and you annoy everyone else you talk to, Discord's a great place, alright? You can talk to other Eagles fans, make some new friends, and it's just a good vibe. On to the Flyers, so they just did some sweeping, eh? Just swept. I'm doing a push, that's not a sweep, sorry. And they also made a series of trades. One of them was a minor league trade. They sent JF Baroob away to the New York Rangers in exchange for a player by the name of Future Considerations, who is apparently very good, I've heard, according to it's a joke. I'm not even going to attempt to finish the joke. We're just going to run with it. But they also traded Kyle Kraskulo and a 4th round pick for Derek Grant of Anaheim. It's a centre for centre switch, yeah? You give me a centre, I will take a centre. That gives me 2 centres. I'll give you a centre, you give me a centre. He's 29 years old. Has got 20 points in 49 games with more NHL experience. So what they've done is basically go, hey, we're contending, it's a playoff run, we need that depth, you take the younger guy, jobs are good. Will he stick on the team next year? I don't know, but he's got a nice chance to make some waves, I think. And secondly, they sent a 5th round pick for Nate Thompson. Basically a free agent at the end of this year, so it's a rental, you can't complain. It's another centre. He's 35 years old, so very much the dad of the group, but he's good at winning face-offs, has scored some points, and he's, of course, 35 years old. He's a veteran. He's likely going to be a 4th round centre, and how do I know this? Well, our writer Eric Rees wrote all about it and the other trades at phillysportsnetwork.com, so go check it out. As of right now, though, the Flyers are on a 3-win streak and they're 3rd in the Metro. They have gone soaring up the standings, so big up the Flyers. They're doing well now. As for the Sixers, well, they just lost a game, and then they're going to be without Simmons and Harris tonight, so that's great, and Horford's on the bench, so that's... It's not gone well. It's not going well. They're 5-5 in their last 10. They're 4 wins off the Celtic. And I just think there could be there's a little bit of unrest among Sixers fans right now. Getting a bit itchy, a bit agitated. But it's okay. Don't worry, because, well, I said so. It'll be alright. Probably. Hopefully. As for the Phillies, though, they seem to evolve the Fanatic over a law case, and he looks no different. I mean, that's the difference between me and a week at the gym posting pictures. Spring training is underway. We had Real Muto lose his arbitration, which annoyed many fans, although he's still earning a fair chunk. So, I mean, given how arbitration works, it's not the end of the world. And Segura doesn't exactly look amazing at third base, but that's why we're training in the spring and not in the summer. And as for the Philadelphia Union, they have got themselves a newly named stadium, a partnership with Subaru, which over in the Duke by the River End podcast, we have aptly named the Soo. Make sure you go and watch the Union. Their season starts this Saturday in a game against FC Dallas. We'll be having a live watch along here on Philly Sports Network. If you watch the preseason in the NFL, if you've been in our post-game shows, you know what to expect. Come in, have a laugh, we'll have a blast, and I can't wait. But that is it, guys, for another episode of This Week in Philadelphia Sports. Again, if you're new around here, don't be in that 62%, alright? It's not a good place to be. I love you all. If you can subscribe to the channel, that would be amazing. My Twitter is at LiamJenkinsPSN. See you soon.